Learning about history is an interesting and never-ending adventure. What makes it even more exciting is exploring the past through authentic photographs. Today's video comprises the 40 vintage photos that are very rare and never shown before. These rare images, coupled with the fascinating stories behind them, allow us to take an intimate glimpse into the lives of people long gone. So let's dive straight into the video. This self-portrait was taken 175 years ago by Philadelphia amateur chemist Robert Cornelius in the back of his family's silver plating business. The first light photograph ever taken, according to Cornelius, was in 1839, only a few months after Louis Daguerre announced his invention, one of the first daguerreotypes created in America. In 1969, when it was still legal for black people to swim with white people, Mr. Rogers invited Officer Clemens to join him and cool his feet in the pool. Leporati, 17, was hanged by the Nazis on February 8, 1943, for supporting the Yugoslav cause during World War II. When they questioned her about the identities of her companions, she replied, "You will know them when they come to avenge me." Among the earliest images of a Native American and a wolf, Indians maintained a close and respectful relationship with wolves, in contrast to the myths that European settlers created about wolves. Because women were not permitted to participate in the race, Bobby Gibb, the first woman to run the Boston Marathon in 1966, did not receive a bib. The character of Gwynplaine from the 1928 silent film The Man Who Laughs was directed by German filmmaker Paul Lenny. It was based on the 1869 novel of the same name by Victor Hugo. It served as the inspiration for the Joker's appearance. On December 20, 1962, NASA test pilot Milton O. Thompson made an emergency exit from his aircraft due to an uncomfortable asymmetrical flap condition. At the intersection of Broadway and 7th Avenue, Times Square, New York City's most well-known landmark and the liveliest district in the city, is home to neon lights and billboards. Bars, restaurants, theaters, museums, and a great atmosphere can all be found in Times Square. Nearly 90 years ago, a police officer stopped traffic on Center Street in downtown Manhattan to allow a mother cat and kittens to cross the street. This was before two underground lines were delayed for hours to spare a few kittens. The traditional attire of men consisting of a long-sleeved button-up shirt, baggy trousers with pleats in front that are frequently made of wool and have silver buttons on the square front flap, a neck scarf and a hat, the shape and style of which vary depending upon the region. Greyhound Lines Inc., or Greyhound, runs North America's busiest intercity network. Greyhound Mexico charter buses and Amtrak Thruway are just a few of the services offered. Greyhound runs 1,700 coach buses with 230 stations and 1,700 destinations, mostly built by Motor Coach Industries and Prevost. Clooney began his acting career in television, where he rose to fame as Dr. Doug Ross on the NBC medical drama ER from 1994 to 1999. He got nominated for 2 Primetime Emmy Awards with the success of his first role in From Dusk to Dawn 1996. He moved into leading roles in movies. The photo was reportedly taken in 1918, a century before the food truck craze. This Ford Model T wasn't old at the time. However, there it is, the 1918 T Ford food truck. The license plate appears to be from North Carolina. 3 women, Jane Ingles Clark, whose son Charles' memory, the CIC hut on Ben Nevis, is dedicated, Mabel Jeffrey and Lucy Smith, founded the Ladies Scottish Climbing Club in 1908 at a boulder close to the Licks Toll in Perthshire. All 3 had done a lot of mountaineering, but usually in the company of their respective male family members. The son of Mae Musk, a model and dietitian from Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada, and Errol Musk, a South African electromechanical engineer, pilot, and sailor. Musk was born on June 28, 1971, in Pretoria, Transvaal, South Africa. He became interested in computing at 10. At the age of 12, he started teaching himself computer programming. Photography is unquestionably a potent instrument. It develops a human connection between us and people from the past by allowing us to look into the person's eyes in an image. This picture shows the well-known World War II service dog. Bill Wine, the American Army Air Force GI, adopted her. Wine explains, "She was as big as my GI shoe. She weighed only a little over 4 pounds. Smokey distracted Wine from boredom, stress, and homesickness." After meeting at a local laundromat, Dolly Parton and Carl Dean married in 1966. Even though Dolly went on to become a celebrity, the couple is still together and doing well. Over 5 decades, their love has endured, and has Dolly Parton's extraordinarily lucrative music career. Engelbart presented the mouse to the public on December 9th at what became known as the mother of all demos, since his employer SRI held the patent, which expired before the mouse was widely used in personal computers. Engelbart never received any royalties. This picture shows Grant Wood's painting, American Gothic, which depicts a farmer and his daughter stiffly posed and attired as if they were, in the artist's words, tintypes from my old family album, which directly alludes to images from a previous generation. Christopher George LaTorre Wallace, also known as the Notorious B.I.G., was an American rapper. He is listed as one of the greatest rappers in numerous media lists and is known for his East Coast hip-hop roots, particularly gangster rap. Across from Love Fields, in the 1940s, men serving women at a drive-thru were dressed in short shorts and cowboy boots. The sudden craze of scantily clad girl car hops caused a stir in Dallas in 1940. During the 20th century, some willing ladies participated in the laboratory testing of lipsticks by sharing a kiss with a single chosen bald male. He appears to be in another universe. In the late 19th century, while the spiritualism movement was taking off in Europe and the US spirit photography had its start, photographers who used it allegedly claimed to be able to catch both the portrait subject's living loved ones and them in one frame. As the picture demonstrates, the little glass balls may be lovely, and kids frequently collect them. One common practice is to use a marble as a target. Players aim to strike the target by flicking their marbles with their thumbnails. Tap dance was performed using the sound of tap shoes striking the floor as a source of percussion. Shoes with a metal tap on the heel and toe produced the noise. A corps of African-American military pilots, fighters and bombers, and airmen known as the Tuskegee Airmen served in World War II. The United States Army Air Forces, or the USAAF, built the 332nd Fighter Group and the 477th Bombardment Group Medium with their help. The helmet is the only defense against head injuries in professional football. However, early football helmets resembled padded aviator caps more than the sophisticated crash-tested models worn by modern players. Keller first spoke with Chaplin in 1919 while Sunnyside was at his Hollywood studio. The comedian auteur's relationship with Keller was not always easy, as revealed by his biographers. After suffering a wound while serving in the Spanish Civil War, George Orwell experienced his first period of ill health upon returning to England. He worked for the BBC and as a journalist during the Second World War. Reshevsky gave a simultaneous chess exhibition in France in 1920 at the age of 8. He won every game. Reshevsky was born to a Jewish family in Ozorkov, close to Od in Congress, Poland. He started playing chess at 4 and quickly gained recognition as a young prodigy. If you want to widen your mental horizons even more, wait for another collection of photographs that might change your perspective right here. In 1910, the number of youngsters employed in the same age range in the United States was over 2 million. It included youngsters who worked in canneries, factories, bob-and-doffer jobs in textile mills, coal mines, and the rolling of cigarettes. Early silent film star Dorothy Kathleen Gulliver, September 6, 1908 to May 23, 1997, was one of the few to move smoothly into the talkies era when film started to use sound. She died on May 23, 1997. She also appeared in some silent serials with William Desmond. Pope John Paul II was shot by Mehmet Ali Agca on May 13, 1981. The Pope survived 4 bullet wounds in his abdomen despite being in critical condition. Agca and Pope John Paul II met and had a private conversation in 1983 at the jail where Agca was held. It was built during the Great Depression between 1931 and 1936, and President Franklin D. Roosevelt dedicated it on September 30, 1935. Over 100 people lost their lives in a huge effort that went into building it, which involved thousands of employees. Pauline Koch, Einstein's mother, was a competent pianist in her own right. At age 6, she taught 6-year-old Albert how to play the violin. At first, he didn't like it. He always had a violin with him, and even in his later years, he loved giving concerts to his loved ones. The image was taken in November of 1909. Three members of the Peyro family, Edmund, age 12, Ernest, age 8, and Cecilia, age 5, are photographed by their cat. Linda is known for producing and appearing in 5 highly regarded network television specials for CBS and many nominated for Emmy Awards. In addition to her extensive acting career, she has shared the stage with some of the most well-known performers in the world, including Ben Viren, George Benson. In 1952, showgirls were introduced in Las Vegas as opening and closing acts for headliners. They met at the Sands Casino during a performance by Danny Thomas. In 1976, Blondie published her self-titled debut album, which reached its highest position at number 14 in Australia and number 75 in the UK. A year later, in 1979, Harry swiftly rose to fame as a punk icon thanks to her attractiveness. Donna Drake is most recognized for her role as Betty Davis's American Indian maid in Beyond the Forest, in 1942's Road to Morocco. She again starred alongside Bob Hope and Bill Crosby as the Arab girl Mihirma. That's all for now. I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to the channel for more such content. See you in the next one.